Alright guys, so I don't know if there's gonna be sound to this video or not. Something's going on with my phone. But either way, every time I start, by the way, like filming, I get like itches all over my body. You're stressing me out. But okay, so I got a few stuff from Albertson yesterday. I went to get some groceries. I was wearing a mask. I looked kind of badass. I felt very badass, very apocalyptic. No, I was the only one, but I was into it. I was waiting for a reason to put that baby on. I looked awesome. Either way, so they had like, I don't know, like 50% of majority of the makeup stuff that they had there. So I grabbed a few Physician Formula, Milani, and a blush from Revlon. I know, L'Oreal. Either way, so I wanted to kind of play around with them, show you the differences because I already swatched them and I was really surprised. And kind of go over a few things with contour and my perception and take on contour. Okay, first of all, the whole idea of light is to bring things forward and dark to pull them away, right? Okay. Now, when I was watching and kind of looking how it looks on video, they look very different on video, what you guys are going to see versus what I'm actually looking at and how it actually looks in my eyes and swatching. So I do understand when people do it on video, they go like really hardcore because that's the only way that the viewer can actually see anything applying or being changed. Now, unfortunately, people take that into real life. So there's a difference between contouring and creating a shadow. Shadow is supposed to be very delicate. And when you're looking at a person at a certain angle, you're going to see that shadow. When you change the angle, the shadow will change, right? Because what is a shadow if not light, object, therefore, right? Now, some people, they don't contour, they draw. They draw things on their face. And they decided to draw a dark line. That's about it. You can draw circles, squares, triangles, lines. You like it? Go for it. Rock it. Hey, if you're confident about it, two thumbs up. Do your thing. But in my opinion, it's I don't know. It's kind of looks wrong. Okay. I do like a lot of makeup. I love makeup. I like color. I like playing with it. And when I wear makeup, you can tell that I'm wearing makeup. Sometimes less, sometimes more. But certain things, for crying out loud, they're supposed to mimic natural effects. So I like to keep it more on that vibe. Okay? So when you're contouring a nose and you're turning around, there is a legit line here. I mean, like, what the fuck? I mean, I'm sorry, but like, oh, hell no. Hell to the no. You totally missed the point there. All right, so I know my brows, nothing is done, so I just kind of want to play with that. Now, are you gonna do bronzer before you're gonna do your contour? Really doesn't matter. Sometimes I start with a bronzer, and because sometimes the bronzer can give you a lot of the effect that you're going for on its own, just because again it kind of darkens a certain area. It depends again on the shade you're gonna use, but and then I'll just add whatever I feel lacking just to kind of ump it up a little bit. But right now I want to go in bare face and just to see the tone. So first I want to swatch them so you guys can see the difference. Hopefully you'll see the difference. All right, so first I picked up this Physicians Formula. I like a lot of their stuff. Now, when you, again, like when you pick something from one brand and you don't like it, like don't neglect the entire brand. They have a bunch of stuff. Maybe it just doesn't work for your skin type or skin tone, or that's not the formulation you're personally looking for. But every line has so much shit right now, so just roll with it. All right, so this is Physician Formula. Now, again, don't look at the darkness of my swatches. Look at the kind of the undertones because it depends on how much the product is going to be picked up. Next one, by the way, is this one. It's my favorite, the one that I use all the time. Smashbox. Which finger am I going to use? All right, it's this one. So yeah, it looks a little bit darker, but you see like this looks grayer, this looks warmer. In reality, this is pink and this is much more gray. Again, light and color and so it really confuses you guys probably. But so next one is It Cosmetics. I'll show you in a moment. So this one shade is actually closer to the Physician Formula. You see it's almost the one and the same. And then the next one is kind of a mix of these two shadows right there. it's a bit more kind of a more neutral, neither or. So I was using the middle two, these two. Okay. Now, when it comes more pink, or at least on my skin tone, like looking at it just with my eyes, it's definitely pink. Like this is something I would use as a blush. So again, I'm not upset that it's not a tone that I would use as a contour. I'll try it right now just for the heck of it. But all right, so instead of a contour bronzer powder palette, I got a bronzer blush powder palette. Okay, nothing against because I don't always like contour either way, so whatever. But all right, so let's check it out. So first I want to use the one that I usually use, which is this one from Smashbox. And the reason I like it, okay, so you had the Anastasia or whatever brand. Okay. You don't need 5 tones for contouring. In reality, only one works for you. So why the fuck do I need a giant palette that I'm going to use only 2 or best 3 shadows from them? I don't. So this one, I love it. It's small, it's compact, travel friendly. Cause oh yeah, all the places I travel all the time. They tell you about the travel friendly. I mean, unless you're always on the go, whatever. I'm not. I'm a homestay mom. I travel to the gym, grocery store, and home. That's about all my traveling. But if you are a traveler, get this. It's awesome. So this is just a random little angle brush. I pick up a little bit of product, flick or whatever you want to call it. So you want to start here and then go down. Don't go this way. That's wrong. So you want to blend this. You don't want the maximum intensity on this area. You want to start it here and go down. Kind of find your cheekbone, and if you're trying to actually also create an effect of your cheekbone being higher where it really is, then place it higher than where it really is. Some people will make a fish face or, something like that. But either way, if you know your face, so you already know where to place it and how to go, right? So here's my line, right? So a lot of people blend, they do a lot of blend, and it ends up still looking like this. So this is, I call it drawing, right? I kind of blend more the top because I'm trying to lift it up. I'm not trying to drag it down. It's really weird that I'm doing it. Right here, eyes in my mirror. There we go. And then so it is nice if you're gonna go with bronzer and blush on top because that's really gonna blend it all seamlessly. Now I do not use this on my forehead. Unless you're wearing a hat, there is no shadow on your forehead. I understand the whole concept of doing all that, but for that I will just use a bronzer. It's a darker tone. It will create a very similar effect. Now again, bronzers, you have a big spectrum of the undertones: red, yellow, gold, neutral, blah blah. So just pick the one that's gonna give you more of that effect. But a shadow will not be there. Nothing cool tone will appear on your forehead unless you're wearing a hat. Are you wearing a hat? Then you don't need a contour. How about that? Just saying. Again, it's just my theory, not a makeup artist. Just my perspective on things. Okay, you can take it, you can dump it in the trash, flush it down the toilet. Either way, and whatever, just blah blah blah. Was this necessary? No. Do I care? No. All right, now let's try this pink undertone. I'm a little bit scared. Okay. Okay. Same brush. There's no more product left on it. I'm not concerned. The two are gonna blend. All right. And okay, much less pigmented. You see? Let's come back. See, okay, in the actual mirror, not this with the lights and camera situation, this does look more like you've been punched. but it would work great on the cheeks, especially if you're looking for that like really light nude blush. Okay, I'm digging this as a blush. I'm gonna use this as a blush, but this is definitely more of that contour shade for me. I would like to blend it more. Let me see okay, the brush that I use for my supposedly foundation. Something like that. Okay. So I just want to go back with this, kind of even it out in tones. And this is a lot more pigmented than the Physician Formula. So let's kind of even it out a little bit. Now again, when you're going with a softer shadow or like you're just not going too hard, it's really not that hard to blend. But if you're a beginner and you really are scared, I highly recommend these. Like for me to create a shadow with this, you got to really go back again and again and again. But that's a good thing because you are creating something that is a shadow. It's supposed to be delicate, so you want a bit more of like that not high pigmented product that you're gonna line and then sit there for an hour blending. Like it really doesn't give you much of a. There's no benefit to it. So, again, just you know, my take on things can be very different than yours, and that is okay. Okay, so let's go with the bronzer. New bronzer that I got. I want to give it a go. I get the original one. I don't remember how it's called, but I got this one from Physician Formula, the Sunkissed bronzer. I like a big glow in my bronzer because it's almost like you're like, okay, not in a gross way, but kind of like, you know, that sweat that you have in the summer. But again, not in a gross way, in a non-gross way. Okay. So again, you see, like the only darkness you'll ever have when you wear it is from like the sun kiss, you know, sun kissed kind of. You're never gonna have a shadow there unless you're wearing a hat, which I said. But yeah, kind of want to repeat that. And on the nose. I know it's kind of like you're supposed to have a light line, but again, like sometimes I do that, sometimes I don't really care. You know, different looks require different approaches. It's so weird how weird and different it looks on camera. So, versus just a regular mirror. Yeah, totally different. But you see, kind of like, so it depends on the angle that you look at a person. For example, my under eyes, if I'm looking at you like that, boom, they're gone. Up, here they are. So again, that's what I mean about like light and object and shadows. It depends on the angle. So if a person has naturally those cheekbones, they will naturally have that shadow. But if they turn straight to you, you're not gonna see it. So don't draw things on your face that are like super obvious. This just looks weird. I don't know. To me, this is a cool little brush from I don't know from who. Ah, Sonia Kashuk. Probably also some clearance. All right. Yeah, I like it. The other one is a little bit too light, which is not bad, but yeah. All right. Next one. I want to give this one a go. This is from L'Oreal True Match Blush. What color are you? What color are you? Bare Honey. I'm like big on like very neutral. Even my pinks are neutral. Everything that I kind of use is neutral. Let's give this one a go. It's also like a contour blush or whatever. Use whatever you want for whatever you want. If it works with your face, go for it. Okay, I can be brave with this color. You know when you're like, first time around, you're like, I don't know. So yeah, let's be brave. Because after this, I'm not going to be walking around with the camera, so I need to see how it actually looks in real world, in real life. Yeah, it works. But on this other cheek, I want to see how this pink tone contour situation gonna look. Gonna look like somebody hit me or not. Oh no, I like it. Yeah. It's kind of that gives you that mauve blush, neutral mauve. And again, that's how it looks on my skin tone. So on somebody else's skin tone, it might look very different. Let's balance them out because that little honey thing didn't, I mean, it's just very kind of mix them up a little. So it's a little bit more even. It's not like neither of these colors are very like pigmented or dominant or anything like that, and that's kind of how I like it. Because a natural blush, unless you're, I don't know, literally blushing or getting red or hives, it's not gonna be very noticeable. Okay, so that's kind of face situation. Ah, I give such great directions and explanations, don't I? Wonderful. All right, let's get some highlighting going here. All right, so brush. I love this one. This is from the ColourPop. I don't need a brush. Just use your finger. So again, highlighting, right? See these beauties? Yeah, I don't need to push them any forward. So when I put any kind of highlight, I gotta be very careful to stay the hell away from my under eye bags. Like really underneath. What I do want to try, because again, like concealer is not going to be a friend of mine. So when I use concealers, I use either one shade lighter than the foundation or even the same shade or a different undertone, for example. Um, but I do want to find something that has more of a pearlescent effect, and I want to kind of do a trick. And so if I will apply something pearlescent all over the area, you're kind of missing the point because again, this is going to come out, right? But I want to see if I can like locate it like smack here. I mean, it's a lot of work and it's probably not going to do much, but we'll see. All right, my leg is falling asleep and my light turned off. Boom. All right, let's go with natural light. Oh, maybe, oh yeah, I guess you can see what I did a little bit better without the weird lights. Because the sun is kind of going in and out, clouds in and out, so I put the little light on. But yeah, you see, this is what I'm talking about. It looks very cohesive, very natural. Like, oh, she didn't try much, but I did it. But it looks good, in my opinion. All right, what else? Let's do some eyeshadow. Now, I'm not always gonna put like primer on my eyes, because I mean, I'm not dry, but I'm not too oily either. Plus, I'm not going really anywhere, so let's just skip that phase. And I just need some kind of fluffy brush. Any fluffy brush will do. Sure, I'll just use this one. Cool. Alright. But you can always just use like a nude eyeshadow just to kind of place it there, just to kind of, so to say, soak up the grease. Alright. And kind of balance out the tones. So this is also ColourPop. Like the highlight. I love their eyeshadow palettes, but there's a few problems with them. A lot of their shades are going to look identical. So, for example, in this palette, these two going to come out very similar. I mean, they are different. This is a good one. I mean, there isn't a lot in their they're progressively different. So, but a lot of other palettes that I have from them, a lot of them will come out the same. So I know how these shadows are, so I can be kind of brave with them. And again, I feel like the less you try to be specific and accurate, the more of that natural look you're gonna get. So, and my makeup always looks better when I in a rush, or I'm just like in a don't give a fuck kind of mood, just blah blah. And then when I really try, I don't know, I don't like how it looks on me. Looks great on other people, but I don't know, my face doesn't do well with effort. I don't know why. Oh, okay, that's dark. That's very pigmented. That's again why I do like their eyeshadows, but again, just when you're buying one of their palettes, keep in mind that some shadows will kind of look the same, or they kind of blend into a kind of same smudge. so to say, when you kind of stop seeing the grid, like if you're working like in a grid, like you will lose that grid with those shadows. So this is kind of that kind of brand as well sometimes, but not always. Like if you're gonna go from like a very light and a very dark, so they'll definitely give you effect. But if you're trying to blend like five, six different shades and you're expecting something like that, a tutorial eyelid, that's not gonna be happening here. But good enough or not? Let's see. Right, yeah, I'll take it. One mistake that I keep making with my hooded eyes is that I'm keep bringing it downwards, just kind of this windshield motion, and that's definitely not something you want to do with my lids. But as long as you're aware of it and then you go back and fix it, life will go on, right? But all right, see, not too bad. Where is it? No, nope, not too bad. Let's go back a little bit with for this side. I feel like we lost some of that intensity. And yes, I will use the same brush for multiple colors. Even though I have so many of them. And so I use this for concealer, so it's kind of... Alright, and here's a little brush that I absolutely adore. Morphe M514. So it's a little one like this. Okay, it looks maybe big on the monitor, I'm not sure. But for example, if I compare it to like a regular, no, it looks the same. Okay, just trust me, it's good, okay? It's for when you still wanna, you wanna be precise, but not too precise. Like it kind of blends on its own, but it's still the same little area. So I really like this one for that. So I'm just gonna go for a darker brown here. And just a little bit here on the upper crease. Are you seeing any difference? Not on the monitor. Very frustrating, that part, that it really does look so different. Like I'm trying to play with lights and angles. Like I kind of understand the concept, but the result product, this product, comes out so differently, and it's very frustrating when I'm looking in the mirror and I'm seeing one thing, but then I look in the monitor and it looks completely different. So it's almost like I'm selling you on something that you're like, what is she talking about? That's not brown, that's burgundy. No, it's brown. I promise, it's brown. So yeah, I'm not colorblind. It's just the way sometimes it comes out on video is very different from what it really is, which is annoying. Oh, let's do some inner corner highlight. Hmm. Sure. See, it looks great on this, and it looks kind of patchy and flaky on this one. It's just the type of the specific eyeshadow. It's supposed to be more with a finger versus a brush. And they are, I mean, yeah, you gotta go blow them off. But, alright. Ooh, ooh, ooh. I wanna try some lip stuff. Also, Milani. So, they have the matte ones and they smell like watermelon. Everybody loves that watermelon scent. I hate it. It's so intense. Like I have no issues with fragrances and products or makeup, but too much. So let's see. But I love their lip liners. Dang it, I love their lip liners. So let's do with this one first. Was it 06, 09? Whatever. I don't like when lip liners are too smooth, by the way, or too creamy. Because one of the things that lip liners help you besides lining out is preventing bleeding, especially with like really bright or dark reds and burgundies. So when you go with something very hydrating, it kind of defeats the purpose of kind of preventing, you know, movement of the product around. And I feel like their formula is just right. It's not dry that it's dragging on your skin or hard to apply. Kind of like that. Again, the less precise I am, for some reason, my makeup looks better. I don't know if anyone else has that thing going, but which is great. I mean, I do my makeup so fast and looks great. It was like, oh, I love your makeup. It's like 5 minutes. Uh-huh. I like it. Oh yeah, and it smells just a light, sweet vanilla scent. Nothing intense. This is really nice. I like this one a lot. Oh, for I am smart. Yes, brilliant. Oh, self-love is always good to have. If you're not gonna love yourself, who will? All right, so thing that I do with my eyebrows. So you want to, well, you don't. I do. I want to match it to my makeup. And so there's a few things I want to match it sometimes, you know, my hair, my skin tone, but also my makeup. So right now it's very warm. So I'm going to use more of a warm brown. So this is L'Oreal Brunette. And I really like their little eyebrow pencils. I don't like when they're again like too soft because then like I don't know, I feel like chunks come off the product and it gets messy, and then you have areas that you have more product and the ones you have less, and you have to go very careful and light. It's just too high maintenance. So, and I'm not a fan of high maintenance. I'm high maintenance enough. I don't need products to be more diva than I am, which I'm not, but my husband says that I am. Maybe. I don't know. It also depends what he's used to prior to me. So maybe compared to his other gals in the past. You see? I like it. It's very easy to work with this pencil. And again, like different companies are gonna have a little bit different undertones. Some are gonna be warmer, some more neutral, some more red, some darker, some lighter. So that's why I will have like a few different eyebrow pencils, just because a medium brown from L'Oreal is not gonna be the same as Anastasia, not the same as I don't know, NYX. So like they're all gonna have a different concept of a medium brown or a different concept of taupe. So, and it's not a bad thing. Sometimes, you know, one will kind of work better with your skin tone because it's summer, or you have more of a neutral makeup versus cooler tone makeup versus more warm makeup and so forth. Also, for the blondes or fake blondes like me, bleached blondes. So, you know, like when you do your hair, and again, depends on the shade you're going for. I mean, there's so many of them. But more yellow with time comes up, and doesn't matter even if you're wearing, you know, using your purple shampoos or not. Eventually, it does tend to go more in the yellow. So, since I do want to kind of match it to somewhat of an overall undertone of what I have, you know, hair, makeup, skin, and all, just to make it look more part of your body, I guess. So, I kind of like having different ones. I'm happy. It's okay, right? You see, kind of everything just comes together. This is from ColourPop, a little gel product. Kind of lift stuff up. Like if you have those beautiful bushy eyebrows, which I'm dying to have, then you can just use this on its own. It comes with tint or without tint, but I don't, so I have to draw them out. And yep, good. So you see, like it, you kind of, because of the bronzer and everything, that line, you don't really see a harsh line, but there is a bit of a play of bronze, shadow, and everything is kind of, I don't know, blended together. And it really helps not to use too pigmented products or too dark products or things you have to sit there and blend, 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 blend. Because then you will blend to the other direction just because you're tired and you're like, ah, this is a bitch. And then you got it all over your face. That ain't cool. What am I looking for? Last step. Where's my mascara? Here you are. Okay. All right. You know, it'd be cute. I mean, you can just leave it as it is. Yeah, I'll just leave it as it is. No eyeliners today. So my mascara, by the way, I start from the tips and then I go to the base because I kind of find, you know, the even as fresh as your mascara will be with, you know, the fact that it's open and you're putting your mascara, the product will dry out. And the best ones are the ones that are a bit not too soggy, not too soggy, but like not too wet. So when you start from the base and go up, I feel like that's when you get those clingy balls on the top. But when I start there, they're already coated, so I'm just making sure the base is nice and then it's just the right consistency. When it's not too dry, not too wet, but it kind of gives you that, you know, voluminous, so to say, I don't know, mascara coating, eyelashes. Yeah. So same thing here, and don't pump it. None of this. You want to put it in and roll it around, pull it out. Okay, so don't put air in that because that's gonna dry your mascara so much faster. So just like that, and they're never gonna be the same just because this is my right hand, this is my left eye. I hate that. They're never in the same direction, are they? It's hard to get them kind of going the same direction. Ooh, good. I have some mascara on my eyelid. Good times. Yeah, and I never curl my eyelashes as well, just because like this side usually has a nice curve. This side was gonna have like a crazy, and it's hard to get rid of that, and then you're just walking around with a really crazy left eyeball. But just like that. And a little bit more on the side, a little bit more volume, or I don't know, coating. Also, like the bottom eyelashes, I like just going the out of the side, the corner. I don't do a lot for the under eyelid myself personally. I love, you know, when they smoke it out and all that. I personally don't do that because I have enough of this going on here. I don't need a shadow and another shadow. It's too much. So on the contrary, I want more light and more open and just more spacious. I don't know if that's kind of makes sense to you, but I don't know, it just looks more fresh because this looks gives you a very tired, exhausted look, even though that's not the reason it's there. This with me, this is genetics, this is fat. Speaking of fat, right, and all the wrong places it tends to go in our bodies. I have other places that I would love to have excess of fat. Under eyes, not part of it, but can control genetics. So instead of a kind of, so I use this a spoolie to flick off the excess of, you see, Polly, great job, great job. And it kind of does a better job than, I don't know, using your finger or anything else, and it doesn't take off as much of your eyeshadow as any other method. And right now I had a big clunk of mascara there. Okay, it wasn't a little one. You guys saw it was a lot. A bloody mess. But you see, it's almost gone. So it's also very horrible area. All right. Were you my? I don't know how they do it. That they know exactly where everything is. I guess time, huh? And they're pros. I'm not. I'll get there. All right. So, and then just a little bit, kind of blend it out. All right, cool. We see. Right. Since hopefully no one's gonna look at me with a magnifying lens. All right. Well, that's about it. Yeah. If you want me to go over a little bit more for, I don't know, contouring or things for these babies, I might will do it separately. Or bronzers. I have a few bronzers. I have a lot of everything. Again, like your skin tone changes, your mood changes, so you must adapt, and I have multiple times. Ooh, by the way, so I love this one. It's also from Innisfree. I love this line, as I said. This is the moisturizing oil mist with olive oil. So it does have oil, but it's not oily by any means. So I like using this one and then putting my primer. But it's also a really good setting spray or dewing spray or however you want. So since I'm always dry, I just kind of, and it doesn't go in like hard, like those big drops. It's pretty nice and smooth. And it's pretty. Always for you to hydrate your skin. All right, so till next time, I'm gonna try to do a few more videos. All right.